Before the fame, before the spotlight, she was just one audition away from being forgotten. What changed Marilyn Monroe's fate wasn't luck, it was persistence. Welcome back to our series on the life of Marilyn Monroe. In our last episode, we left Norma Jeane as she was just stepping onto the path of Hollywood. By the late 1940s, Norma Jeane had officially shed her old life and stepped into Hollywood under a new, now iconic name, Marilyn Monroe. But a name alone did not guarantee success, and the bright lights of Tinseltown were often blinding, not welcoming. Her early contracts with 20th Century Fox were short-term and riddled with uncertainty. She was just one of countless young women hoping for a break, a face in a crowd of aspiring stars. For years, she languished in the background. Her filmography from this period is a list of fleeting appearances. She played secretaries, waitresses, or sometimes just a pretty face in a crowd scene, often without even getting the credit. The industry saw her beauty. That much was undeniable. But in a town built on images, few believed she could be anything more. The consensus was clear. She was pretty, but could she act? This is where the story of Marilyn Monroe truly begins, not with a lucky break, but with sheer, unyielding determination. While many of her contemporaries partied or relied on their looks, Marilyn worked. She treated acting as a serious craft, something to be studied and perfected. She poured what little money she had into acting classes with legendary coaches like Natasha Lytess. She spent countless hours in front of a mirror, studying her expressions, her movements, her voice. She analyzed the performances of great actresses, dissecting their timing and emotional delivery. She was building an artist, piece by piece, even when no one else was watching. Then, in 1950, the first glimmers of light appeared. She landed the small but pivotal roles in the major films, John Huston's crime noir classic, The Asphalt Jungle, and Joseph L. Mankiewicz's masterpiece, All About Eve*. In The Asphalt Jungle*, she played a small-time crook's naive mistress. Her screen time was minimal, but her performance was unforgettable. Critics noted her natural vulnerability and magnetic presence. In All About Eve*, she played Miss Caswell, a young, aspiring actress. It was a role that mirrored her own life, and she delivered her lines with a comedic timing that surprised everyone. These two films did something crucial. They made people notice. It wasn't just about her looks anymore. Audiences and, more importantly, casting directors saw something else. They saw a spark, a charisma that leaped off the screen. It was that intangible quality known as star power, something that can't be taught or manufactured. It was either there or it wasn't, and Marilyn had it in spades. Suddenly, the phone started ringing. 20th Century Fox, the very studio that had let her go, came calling again, this time with a more substantial 7-year contract. It seemed like the breakthrough she had worked so hard for, but success in Hollywood always comes with a price. The studio executives saw her potential, but they also wanted to control it. They began to meticulously craft an image for her, the blonde bombshell, publicly. She was marketed as this playful, innocent, almost childlike figure of fantasy for men and an object of fascination for women. Her wardrobe, her interviews, her public appearances were all carefully managed to reinforce this persona. She was the dumb, blonde, the beautiful, but slightly clueless girl next door. Privately, however, Marilyn felt a growing sense of unease. She was intelligent, well-read, and deeply serious about her craft. Being typecast as a one-dimensional character was a source of immense frustration. She was being celebrated for an image she didn't fully recognize as herself. Despite this internal struggle, Marilyn knew she had to play the game to get ahead. She pushed forward, hoping to eventually earn the right to choose more complex roles. Her big chance to prove her range came in 1953 with the film Niagara*. Cast against type as a manipulative femme fatale, she delivered a powerful, dramatic performance that shocked critics who had written her off as just a pretty face. She proved she could be more than just funny or cute. She could be dangerous. And then, in that very same year, came the film that would catapult her into the stratosphere, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, playing the gold-digging showgirl Lorelei Lee. Marilyn was an absolute sensation. Her performance of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend became one of the most iconic musical numbers in cinema history. The film was a massive box office hit, and almost overnight, Marilyn Monroe went from being a rising starlet to a global superstar. Her face was everywhere on magazine covers and newspapers. On billboards, she was a household name. She had finally achieved the fame she had dreamed of and worked for tirelessly. The world was at her feet, but this wasn't a fairy tale ending. The spotlight she had craved for so long was also an intense, unforgiving heat. Fame arrived much faster than personal stability, and the admiration she received was often tangled with disrespect. The battle to be seen as more than just an image was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. She had achieved what millions dreamed of, but the cost of becoming Marilyn Monroe was only just revealing itself. In Episode 3, Fame, Control, and the battle to be taken seriously in a world that only wanted the image. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of our story.